My name is Liang Yu Zhen. I'd been studying in the UK for 3 years. Today, fresh off the plane, I hadn't even finished pulling my suitcase through the door and inhaled the familiar air before I heard sweet laughter and chatter echoing from the living room. Uncle Liang, look, this landscape painting, I drew it for you. Thank you for giving Jia Meng a home. A voice so sweet it was sickening. I frowned. Uncle Liang? No one in our family is an Uncle Liang. I pushed the door open. Everyone was there. My father, Liang Sheng, chairman of the Liang Corporation, known as the Old Fox of the financial world, sat sternly on the main sofa. My mother, Gu Man Li, a former screen queen who had retired behind the scenes, known as the Empress of the Socialites, was elegantly picking up a piece of tangerine with silver tongs, her eyes sharp as daggers. My brother, Liang Yu Zhen, who had just taken over the corporation, our resident, human green tea detector, was flipping through documents, but I bet his ears were perked up like a fox. And finally, the source of that sickeningly sweet voice. A girl in a pristine white dress, long black hair, pale skin, eyes glistening with unshed tears. She stood beside my father, barely an arm's length away too close. She was Lin Jia Meng, the daughter of one of my father's deceased business partners from afar. I'd heard her parents died young, making her incredibly pitiful, so my father had taken her in temporarily. Before I could even speak, my mother gave a soft laugh, setting the tangerine slice back onto the porcelain plate. Jia Meng, you've been back in the country for quite some time now. Why haven't you corrected your address? You should call him Mr. Liang, respectfully, not Uncle Liang so intimately. Outsiders might misunderstand and think we have a very close family relationship. Lin Jia Meng stiffened, her eyes immediately reddening, welling up with tears. I'm sorry, Auntie Gu. It's just that I feel so close to Uncle Liang, almost like my own father, I misspoke. The ultimate green tea, crying technique. Unfortunately, my family is immune to that trick. I flung my backpack onto the floor with a loud thud, cutting short her performance. Like her father? How funny. Oh dear, Dad, if you heard her call you that, Mom and I would surely die of anger. I giggled, running over to hug my mother tightly. The atmosphere immediately shifted. Lin Jia Meng turned to look at me, her eyes wide like a startled fawn's. Sis, you're Yu Zhenjai who just returned? I'm Jia Meng. I know, I interrupted, sitting down next to my mother and crossing my legs. So you're my new asterisk little sister, aren't you? I deliberately emphasized little sister. Jia Meng's face paled slightly, but quickly recovered. She bowed her head. Yes, thank you for taking me in, everyone. Dinner began, and this was the main stage. Jia Meng was incredibly attentive. She didn't sit still, constantly getting up to serve food, but her target was singular. Uncle Liang, this time she got the address right. You work so hard, please eat more of this sweet and sour pork ribs. I specially asked the chef to make it. She picked up a glossy piece of rib, intending to place it in my father's bowl. Ahem, my mother lightly cleared her throat. I'll serve your Uncle Liang myself. I know his preference is best. Jia Meng's hand froze in midair. My brother, Liang Yu Zhen, who hadn't looked up the entire time, coolly stated, the Liang family's chef doesn't need outsiders to direct their cooking. Slap, an invisible slap. Jia Meng awkwardly pulled her hand back, the rib clattering onto her own plate, and tears began to well up again. I didn't mean anything by it. I just thought Uncle Liang looked a bit thin lately, and Auntie Gu must be so tired taking care of him. Ah, there it was, the high-level green tea technique, complimenting the target while subtly criticizing the person next to them, my mother's supposed lack of attentive care. I was about to speak when my old fox of a father made his move. My father put down his chopsticks, looking at Jia Meng with the serious gaze of a chairman. Jia Meng, I am not thin, I am building muscle. My fitness trainer says I am perfectly in shape. My father then turned and picked up a piece of fish for my mother. And your Auntie Gu is not tired at all. Taking care of me is her joy, just as taking care of her is my duty. A single statement that simultaneously choked Jia Meng and openly flattered his wife. Old Ginger truly is spicier. I'm sorry. Jia Meng's tears finally fell. I didn't mean anything. It's just that I find Uncle Liang so capable and loving towards his family. I admire him so much. If only my father back then could have been like Uncle Liang. She started to sob, a combo move of showcasing her pitifulness and flattering her target. The atmosphere in the dining room began to grow heavy with her sniffling. At this moment, Liang Yu Zhen, the green tea detector, finally looked up from his pile of documents. He had a habit of working while eating. He cast a single, icy glance at Jia Meng. Lin Jia Meng, my brother's voice was remarkably pleasant. If you truly miss your father, please go back to your room after dinner and cry behind closed doors. Don't ruin other people's appetites. Jia Meng fell silent, tears still clinging to her eyelashes. I chuckled, picking up my bowl. That's right. The Liang family has rules, no acting during dinner. If you cry again, that'll come out of your allowance. Jia Meng trembled, quickly wiped her tears, and lowered her head to eat, not daring to utter another word. Dinner ended in a false peace. After dinner, Jia Meng quickly scurried back to her room. My brother, mother, and I gathered in my mother's tea room. This was our familiar family meeting. My mother sipped her Thai guanyin tea. This girl is not simple. My brother opened his laptop. Of course, I've checked her background. Her parents didn't die from an accident. Her father was involved in illegal business, went bankrupt, and her mother committed suicide as a result. She clearly knew Dad was her father's old partner, so she deliberately staged a chance encounter at the cemetery to tell him about her orphan status. I raised an eyebrow. Wow, good script. So what's her goal? Dad or you? Both. My brother pushed up his glasses. She aims to win Dad's favor to gain a foothold, then approach me. After all, an adopted daughter-in-law is also a good plot. My mother sneered. Adopted daughter-in-law? Does the Liang family need an adopted daughter-in-law? Does she think this Gu man Li is dead? She underestimates our family's fury, I summarized. My mother set her teacup down. Yu Zhen, you've just returned. Let this girl be your appetizer. Teach her a little about the rules of the Liang household. I smiled brightly. Understood, Madame Gu. I'm just itching for some action myself. I stood up, stretching. I'm heading up to my room. Oh, I should go greet my new cousin first, shouldn't I? I casually ascended to the third floor. Jia Meng's room was located at the end of the hallway, next to the storage room, perfectly placed. I didn't knock, I just pushed the door open and walked straight in. Lin Jia Meng was sitting in front of the mirror, her pitiful, weak demeanor gone. She was holding her phone, laughing and chatting happily. Seeing me enter, she startled, quickly hung up the phone, and her frightened expression reappeared. Sis Yu Zhen, why did you come in without knocking? My room, I enter whenever I please, I shrugged. This is my room. All rooms in this house are owned by my father. My father is Liang Sheng, I am Liang Yu Zhen, and you are Lin Jia Meng. I stepped closer, looking at her reflection in the mirror. Do you understand the hierarchy now? Jia Meng bit her lip, looking utterly resentful. Did I do something wrong, sis? Why? Why does everyone in the family seem to dislike me? She started acting again. I chuckled. Your acting is terrible, Jia Meng. Worse than the B-list actors my brother's entertainment company just fired. She froze. What did you say? I don't understand. Don't understand? I picked up the expensive perfume bottle on her table. This kind is limited edition. Still don't understand? I pointed to the phone she had just hidden. The latest model, just released last week, and you still dare to say you don't understand. Jia Meng's face turned ashen. Lin Jia Meng, I don't have time to play sister games with you. I lowered my voice. Firstly, my family doesn't appreciate people crying while eating. It's unhygienic. Secondly, my father's surname is Liang, and he only has one wife, my mother. If you want to find a sugar daddy, go look outside, not in this house. Thirdly, I leaned close to her ear, that white dress of yours, the polyester blend is too high. It'll easily generate static electricity in this weather. Change it. It looks cheap, and it's not eco-friendly. I don't have money to buy other clothes. She trembled, trying to use her old trick. No money? I laughed coldly. Do you think my brother is an ATM, or do you think our entire family is mentally deficient? Lin Jia Meng's expression finally broke. Fear and anger were clearly visible in her eyes. Your little act, I lightly patted her cheek. Starting tomorrow, you should change your script. My family is sick and tired of this pitiful Cinderella story. I turned and left, leaving Jia Meng trembling behind me. After that night in her room, Lin Jia Meng truly did change her script. The next morning, she no longer wore that eco-friendly white dress. Instead, she had on a rather cheap-looking business suit, her hair tied up, face bare save for a touch of light lipstick. She looked more professional and trustworthy, but my mother and I exchanged a quick glance. Same old trick, new packaging. As the family ate breakfast, she carried a plate of fried eggs from the kitchen and placed it in front of my brother, Liang Yu Zhen. With a contrite expression, she said, "Yu Zhen, I've thought things over. Thank you for giving me a place to stay. I shouldn't have had any restless thoughts. Starting today, I will do housework and help everyone." My brother didn't even look up from his financial newspaper. The Liang family is not short on housekeepers. I chuckled, spreading butter on my toast. "Miss Lin, you're a quick study when it comes to scripts. Yesterday, you were the pitiful Cinderella. Today, you've switched to the diligent maid, but you're overacting. No housekeeper in our family would dare place food in front of the young master without his permission." Jia Meng's face flushed crimson, then turned pale. She stood there awkwardly. My mother elegantly wiped her mouth. "Jia Meng, the Liang family has clear rules. Guests are guests, masters are masters, and staff are staff. You are a guest, so please sit quietly at the dining table and don't take over other people's duties." With one sentence, my mother had blocked her path to winning favor through diligence. Jia Meng bit her lip, tears welling up again, but she quickly swallowed them. "Yes, I understand." She obediently sat down, but her eyes kept darting towards my brother. Her target was crystal clear. My father was too cunning, my mother too sharp, and I was too fierce. Only my brother, Liang Yu Zhen, the golden bachelor, was the most perfect target. Yu Zhen finished breakfast, stood up, and picked up his briefcase and sleek laptop. He was about to leave for work. Just as my brother walked past the dining table, the real show began. Lin Jia Meng suddenly sprang up, a glass of water in her hand. She stumbled. "Ah!" The glass of water flew in a perfect arc, splashing directly onto my brother's leather briefcase, which contained his laptop. "Oh my God, Yu Zhen, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to, I really didn't mean to." Jia Meng was utterly distraught, frantically grabbing tissues to wipe it, but the water had already soaked in. My brother's face darkened. "What did you do?" "I slipped." Her tears now streamed down like rain. "Your laptop, your documents, what should I do? Or maybe I can compensate you. I'll get a part-time job, I'll pay you back." I almost burst out laughing. Compensate, with what? This was a tactic of retreating to advance, using her pitiful poverty to make the other party reluctant to pursue the matter. "Compensate?" My brother smirked. "A $500 million contract is on that laptop. How many lifetimes do you plan to work part-time?" Jia Meng's face turned ashen like paper. She trembled as if about to faint. But I know how to fix computers." She suddenly looked up, her eyes bright as if she'd struck gold. "Yu Zhen, trust me. I majored in IT, I know how to recover data. Give me the laptop, I'll dismantle it and dry it." I was about to interject, "A Liang Corporation laptop, and you dare to dismantle it?" when my brother spoke first. He stared at her for a few seconds, his gaze icy. "You majored in it?" Yes, I'm very good at it." Jia Meng nodded frantically, afraid he wouldn't believe her. My brother unexpectedly handed her the briefcase. Both my mother and I were surprised. Lin Jia Meng was also stunned. "This laptop," Yu Zhen said, his voice even, "contains all the data for the corporation's new acquisition plan. It's 8:00 a.m. now. I have a board meeting at 10:00 a.m. I need all the data." He looked directly into her eyes. "If the data is lost or leaks out." He didn't finish the sentence, but the implied threat was more terrifying than 1,000 words. "I can do it, I can definitely do it." Jia Meng hastily clutched the briefcase as if it were a treasure. She rushed up to her room, not forgetting to turn back and say, "Don't worry, I won't disappoint you." Her room door slammed shut. I turned to look at my brother. "Brother, do you really trust her? What if she—" Yu Zhen calmly pulled another laptop from his jacket pocket. Identical to the one he'd just given her, he placed it on the table. "This is the one with the data." My mother and I were stunned. "And the one you just gave her?" My mother frowned. "It's an empty, broken laptop," my brother said with a cold smile, "but inside, it has a tiny tracking software installed. I want to see what an IT student, with the Liang Corporation's trade secrets in her hands, does first." I slapped my thigh. "Brother, you truly are a fox, just like Dad." My father, who had just returned from his exercise, heard the story and simply chuckled, settling in to watch the show. The entire family calmly sat down to drink tea, watching the iPad screen my brother had already connected. On the screen, Lin Jia Meng was in her room. She wasn't panicked, nor was she drying the laptop as she claimed. She locked the door, then took a USB stick and a strange device resembling a card reader from her suitcase. She plugged the USB into the broken laptop. "Ha!" I clicked my tongue. "This isn't data recovery, this is data theft." "IT major," my mother sneered. "More like green tea data theft major." On the screen, Jia Meng was fumbling with the computer, but since it was broken, it naturally wouldn't turn on. Her expression began to turn frantic. She tried plugging in the charger, tried restarting it, but it was useless. Her initial confidence vanished, replaced by genuine fear. She pulled out her phone and called someone, the same call I'd caught yesterday. "Hello, brother, it's broken. I've been tricked. This laptop is broken. I can't get any data. What do I do now? Liang Yu Zhen tricked me." My brother smirked. "Caught a big fish." He put the tracking call on speaker. I stood up and headed straight upstairs. I didn't bother knocking. I just used my spare card to swipe open Jia Meng's door. Click asterisk. Lin Jia Meng was holding her phone, her face devoid of color, staring at me in disbelief. "Who are you talking to so happily? Our IT expert?" I chuckled, snatching the USB from her hand. "Give that back." She lunged to grab it back. I easily pushed her, sending her tumbling onto the bed. "Thief, get downstairs. The board is waiting for you." When Jia Meng finally dragged herself down to the living room, my parents and brother were all sitting there, watching her. My brother spoke, his voice icy. "Lin Jia Meng, your resume clearly states you graduated with an average grade in hotel and restaurant management. Who gave you the courage to lie about studying it?" Another blow. Jia Meng trembled. "You deliberately spilled water, you deliberately lied about your major, and you deliberately tried to steal data," Yu Zhen concluded. "Tell us who is behind you. Who was that person you just spoke to on the phone?" I don't know." Jia Meng started crying. "I made a mistake, Yu Zhen, Uncle Liang, Auntie Gu. Please forgive me. I was just momentarily confused." "Confused?" My father spoke up, his voice deep and authoritative. "Stealing trade secrets. Can you afford the price for this?" "Call the police," my mother said. Hearing the words police, Jia Meng went wild. "No, don't call the police," she suddenly screamed. "You forced me, you treated me like trash. I was in the servants' room, you never treated me like a human." The servants' room was already too good for this poisonous green tea. If we didn't act now, she would think she could walk all over us, and then there'd be no saving the situation. It's best to be ruthless when dealing with green teas. "So you retaliated by stealing?" I asked directly. "Yes," she looked at my father with intense hatred. "Liang Sheng, you killed my father. You're a hypocrite. You took me into atone for your sins, didn't you? Well, let me tell you, I'm going to destroy this family." My father gave a cold laugh. "Your father engaged in illegal business. I advised him against it, but he wouldn't listen. His bankruptcy and suicide have nothing to do with me. I took you in out of respect for an old partner. It seems I've harbored a viper in my home." "That's enough." My brother pressed his phone. "Hello, police station. I'd like to report a crime." Lin Jia Meng collapsed. But just then, Jia Meng's phone rang again, the same number as before. She stared at the screen, her panic vanishing, replaced by a chilling, unnerving smile. She answered the call. "You don't need to call the police. Someone will come bail me out." My father, the old fox Liang Sheng, was the first to react. He sipped his tea, completely unfazed. "Oh, really? I'm quite curious. Who would have the audacity to come to the Liang family's home to bail out a commercial thief?" My brother, Liang Yu Zhen, had already ended his call with the police. He put his phone down, his eyes icy. "No worries. The police will be here in 15 minutes. Let's see who arrives faster, your guarantor or the police." "No need to wait." My mother, Gu Man Li, subtly gestured with her chin towards the door. "They're here." We all heard the roar of a sports car engine braking sharply outside the gate. The doorbell rang, insistent and provocative, not at all how an ordinary guest would announce their arrival. Lin Jia Meng heard the doorbell, her previous panic completely gone. She puffed out her chest, a triumphant expression on her face, as if she had just turned the tables. "It's him, he's here to save me." She looked at my brother, full of challenge. "Yu Zhen, you dared to trick me? Qin Hao won't let any of you off the hook." "Qin Hao?" I raised an eyebrow. "Sounds rather intimate, doesn't it?" The butler rushed in, looking slightly flustered. Sir, ma'am, young Master Qin Hao of Qin Corporation is demanding entry. My father and brother exchanged glances. Ah, Qin Hao, the Liang Corporation's sworn enemy, a rising corporation directly competing with us in high-tech. Qin Hao, the young CEO, was infamous for his ruthless tactics, stopping at nothing. No wonder. He was the one pulling Lin Jia Meng's strings. Let him in, my father ordered. The living room door opened, and a tall man in an expensive, tailor-made navy suit walked in. He was quite handsome, but his narrow, long eyes and sly smirk exuded an undeniable aura of a notorious scumbag. This was Qin Hao, and he was also the one Lin Jia Meng had called brother on the phone. The moment Lin Jia Meng saw Qin Hao, she immediately switched scripts. She transformed from a blackened strong woman to an oppressed white lotus in a single second. Brother Qin, her tears fell again. You're here, they bullied me, they set a trap for me. Brother Qin, you have to save me. She ran towards him, intending to grab Qin Hao's arm, but Qin Hao subtly leaned away, avoiding her touch, his eyes clearly showing disgust. What are you crying for? Useless. He snapped at Jia Meng, making her stiffen. Then Qin Hao looked up, staring directly at my family. He clapped his hands, asterisk clap, clap, clap. Excellent, truly an excellent family drama. Chairman Liang, CEO Liang. He nodded at my father and brother. Two of you used your entire family to set a trap for a weak girl. Don't you feel ashamed? He was trying to reverse the situation, turning us from victims into bullies. Weak, I chuckled. Brother Qin, is there something wrong with your eyes? She deliberately spilled water, lied about her major to get close to a Liang Corporation laptop, and plugged in a USB to steal data. You call that weakness? Chairman Qin's taste is certainly unique. Only then did Qin Hao notice me. He narrowed his eyes. And this is Miss Liang Yu Zhen, who just returned from studying abroad? My brother coldly replied. Qin Hao, you don't need to act anymore. She's your spy, isn't she? Qin Hao didn't deny it, he shrugged. Business is war, Liang Yu Zhen. You use these tricks all the time, too. It's just that this girl of mine is a bit foolish and you caught her. He spoke as if referring to a broken object. Lin Jia Meng heard Qin Hao call her foolish. Her face turned ashen, but she didn't dare to retort, only clutching her dress hem tightly. So, Chairman Qin, you're here today, my mother elegantly spoke up, to bail out this foolish object. That's right, Qin Hao said with a smile. Tell me, how much money do you want, or is it a project you're after? Just release her. He thought the Liang family was like him, believing money could solve everything. Money? My father burst out laughing. The Liang family is not short on money, but we are short on a public apology. Qin Hao, you sent a spy into my house to steal trade secrets. Do you think this can be resolved with money? So what do you want? Qin Hao lost his patience. Simple, my brother stood up, towering half a head over Qin Hao. We've called the police. The charges are illegal entry and intentional theft of trade secrets with this USB here. He held up the USB we had confiscated. And the security camera footage, plus her confession, are enough to put her behind bars for a long time. Qin Hao's expression shifted slightly. He hadn't expected us to be so unyielding. Lin Jia Meng was truly frightened now. She no longer cared about Qin Hao and turned to plead with my father. Uncle Liang, uncle, I was wrong. Please forgive me. It was him, Qin Hao, who forced me to do it. He said if I didn't, he would kill me. I was coerced. Uncle, please, for my father's sake. Qin Hao watched Lin Jia Meng kneeling at my father's feet, a murderous glint in his eyes. You dare? Jia Meng, frightened, flinched back. How interesting, I clapped. Dog eat dog, Qin Hao, it seems you're terrible at picking teammates. This kind of green tea can only use honey traps, not tragic schemes or spy tactics. She really is foolish. You Qin Hao. What about me? I took a step forward. Brother Qin, do you think you can just come here and bail her out? You're wrong, you're an accomplice too. Do you know what my brother installed in that broken laptop? Qin Hao frowned. My brother continued, a high-level recording and tracking software. It not only recorded all her actions, but also her entire phone conversation with you. My brother picked up the iPad and pressed play. A crystal-clear recording echoed through the room. Lin Jia Meng's voice, Brother, it's broken, I've been tricked. This laptop is broken, I can't get any data. And Qin Hao's voice, Useless, you can't even handle such a simple task. Do you know how important that $500 million project is? Get back here now. Qin Hao's face turned from green to black, then ashen white. He hadn't expected us to have this as well. Liang Yu Zhen, you dared to secretly record me? He roared. Merely legitimate self-defense, my brother shrugged. Qin Hao, my father spoke, his voice full of power. You are the mastermind, she is an accomplice. The police are arriving soon. You have two choices. 1, stay here with her and explain the $500 million project to the police, or 2, my father didn't finish. Qin Hao gritted his teeth, looking at Lin Jia Meng trembling on the floor, then at my family, the four of us calmly at ease. You're really something, Qin Hao snarled through clenched teeth. He turned to Lin Jia Meng, his eyes venomous. Traitor! He couldn't stay. If he was detained with Jia Meng, with that recording, Qin Corporation would face disaster. Save me, brother Qin. Jia Meng crawled over, grabbing his trouser leg. Get lost. Qin Hao kicked Jia Meng away. He adjusted his suit collar, spun around, and left as quickly as he arrived. Lin Jia Meng watched Qin Hao's retreating back, utterly defeated. Her last trump card had abandoned her. She suddenly became hysterical. She spotted the real laptop my brother had left on the coffee table. I'll destroy everything. I won't let you people have peace, she shrieked, lunging towards the laptop. But before she could even touch it, I moved. I had studied abroad in the UK. My major was finance, but the sport I played was judo. A perfect one-handed asterisk Ippen Seoi Nage throw. Lin Jia Meng flew in a beautiful arc and landed neatly on the floor, unmoving. Just then, police sirens wailed outside the gate. I stood up, dusting my hands. What a racket, the police are here. My mother smiled elegantly. Butler, open the door and remember to make tea for the officers. They must be tired. The police sirens stopped right outside the gate. 3 police officers entered, led by a middle-aged man with a square, stern face. Captain Zhang. He clearly knew my father but maintained an impartial demeanor. Chairman Liang, we received a report from CEO Liang about an intruder and commercial espionage. What's the situation? Lin Jia Meng, sprawled on the floor after my judo throw, immediately switched into acting mode the moment she heard the police. Police, help me, save me, she wailed, tears and snot streaming down her face. They hit me. Liang Yu Zhen broke my bones. Look, they're bullying people. She was trying to shift the charge from commercial espionage to intentional assault, hoping to drag us down with her. Captain Zhang frowned, looking at me. Before I could even speak, my mother elegantly pointed to the security camera system on the ceiling. Captain Zhang, please review the cameras. This girl, my mother gestured with her chin towards Jia Meng, after her scheme was exposed, went berserk and tried to destroy this laptop, which is evidence. My mother pointed to the real laptop on the table. My daughter, Liang Yu Zhen, was merely acting in legitimate self-defense to prevent her from damaging property and destroying evidence. It was just a basic judo move. No bones would be broken, rest assured. The last sentence was clearly directed at Jia Meng. My brother, Liang Yu Zhen, pushed up his glasses and offered the iPad. Captain Zhang, here is all the evidence. Firstly, the camera video recording her deliberately spilling water, intentionally approaching the laptop. He tapped the screen, showing it clearly. Secondly, the camera video in her room recording her using a USB and a strange device to attempt to copy data. He tapped again. Thirdly, the audio recording of her call with the mastermind, Qin Hao of Qin Corporation, confirming the target was the $500 million project. The recording of Qin Hao cursing Jia Meng as useless played aloud. Captain Zhang's expression grew even more serious after hearing it. He turned to Jia Meng, who had stopped crying and whose face was now ashen. Lin Jia Meng, the evidence is overwhelming. Please come to the station with us. A young police officer stepped forward, pulling out a pair of handcuffs. Seeing the cold silver cuffs, Jia Meng completely collapsed. She knew Qin Hao had abandoned her. No one could save her now. She suddenly scrambled up, not to attack, but to crawl towards my father. Uncle Liang, uncle, I was wrong. She hugged my father's legs, crying desperately. I was coerced. It was Qin Hao. He forced me. He said my father's death was your fault. He incited me. He said if I didn't do it, he would release my intimate photos online. I was forced. Uncle, please, for my father's sake, tell the police to forgive me. I'll be a witness. I'll expose Qin Hao. I had to admit, this was her final smart move, turning herself from an accomplice into a coerced victim. How could my father, the old fox, not see through it? He coldly removed her hands from his trouser leg. Jia Meng, if you were truly coerced, then you should all the more go to the police station. There you can explain everything and the police will protect you. He turned to Captain Zhang. Captain, she claims Qin Hao is the mastermind and engaged in threats and coercion. Please investigate thoroughly. Captain Zhang nodded. We will get to the bottom of it. Take her away. Uncle Liang, please forgive me. Jia Meng was dragged away by 2 officers like a sack of potatoes. As she passed me, she suddenly looked up, her eyes no longer green tea, but filled with venomous hatred. Liang Yu Zhen, you and your whole family are really something. Do you think I'll just go to jail and it's over? Qin Hao won't spare any of you. He'll get revenge for me, just you wait. Even at this point, she still deluded herself that Qin Hao would take revenge for her. Foolish. I merely shrugged. Thanks for the warning. Save the rest of your words for the police station. The door slammed shut, and the house instantly returned to silence. The venomous snake was finally gone. My mother called the housekeepers in to thoroughly disinfect the entire living room, especially where Jia Meng had knelt. So dirty, change the carpet too. My father sat down, sipping his now cold tea. Qin Hao, his move was both foolish and ruthless. He's not foolish, Dad, my brother said, sitting opposite me and opening his laptop. He just didn't expect our entire family to be green tea extermination experts. Moreover, he was too confident in his Lin Jia Meng card. So now what, brother? I sat down beside him. Qin Hao ran away. Jia Meng was caught, she'll definitely expose him, but a shrewd fox like Qin Hao will deny everything. That phone call isn't enough as solid evidence. Who told you it wasn't enough? My brother smirked, a smile exactly like my father's. What do you mean? My brother turned his laptop towards me. Did you think the laptop I gave Jia Meng was just broken and had a camera? There's more to it, isn't there? I installed a scanning program, my brother explained. When Jia Meng plugged in Qin Hao's USB, that program automatically activated, scanning and copying all the data on her USB to my server. My jaw dropped. Brother, Qin Hao is too overconfident. Yu Shen continued. He used the same USB for all his dirty dealings. He gave Jia Meng the USB, telling her to plug it into a Liang Corporation computer to implant a spy virus, but he forgot to delete the old data. My brother opened a compressed file that had just been decrypted. And this is the gift Qin Hao left us. He smiled. Not just a conspiracy against the Liang Corporation, but also all the recordings, contracts, and emails. He's been involved in illegal dealings with the An Corporation abroad. He's selling off the core technology of a national project that he stole from elsewhere. I shivered. My God, this isn't just commercial espionage anymore. This is treason. Exactly, my father nodded, a satisfied expression on his face. This kind of charge, even Qin Hao can't bear. So what are you going to do? I asked, my heart pounding. Hand it over to the police? My mother asked. No, my brother shook his head. Hand it over to the police and Qin Hao will be arrested, Qin Corporation will collapse. We win, but it's too easy for him. My brother pulled out his phone. I'll anonymously send all these documents to the Competition Oversight Committee and the National Security Bureau. Qin Hao won't be arrested immediately. He'll be placed under special surveillance. All his movements, all his cash flows, all his partners will be scrutinized. He'll live in fear, watching his empire slowly crumble, piece by piece, until there's nothing left. This is the true Liang Yu Zhen. This is the true ruthlessness of the Liang family. Killing a man is not as effective as breaking his spirit. But just as my brother was about to send it, the landline in the house rang with an unfamiliar number. My father picked up and put it on speaker. A snarling voice, devoid of the earlier, scumbag calm, echoed out. It was Qin Hao's voice. Liang Yu Zhen, you dared to call the police? That bitch Jia Meng was arrested. My father chuckled faintly. Chairman Qin, what are you talking about? I'm just drinking tea. You think catching Jia Meng means you've won? He snarled. You played dirty. Dirty? My brother said into the phone. Compared to Chairman Qin planting a spy in someone else's house, who's dirtier, huh? Qin Hao gritted his teeth. The USB. What did you do with the USB? It seemed he had realized he'd lost something far more important than Jia Meng. A USB? My brother pretended to be innocent. Ah, that USB, the criminal evidence, is already on its way to the police station. No, not that one. Liang Yu Zhen, you dare? Qin Hao shrieked. He knew everything was exposed. A few seconds of silence, then Qin Hao let out a chilling laugh. Very well, Liang family, very well. His voice was venomous. Liang Sheng, you have a capable son and a daughter who's also very good at martial arts, don't you? My heart tightened. He was targeting me. Remind your daughter to be careful. Qin Hao enunciated each word. The winds in Shanghai are quite strong lately. If one isn't careful when going out, it's easy to catch a cold and fall, breaking a leg. He was openly threatening me. My father slammed the table, my mother frowned, and my brother clenched the phone tightly. I took a deep breath, snatching the phone from my father's hand. Thank you for your concern, Chairman Qin. My voice was sweet, yet cold as ice. The wind is indeed strong, but my judo skills aren't just for show. You should also be careful not to catch a cold and break your entire career. I hung up. The whole family looked at me. My father burst out laughing. Well done, truly Liang Xing's daughter. My brother looked at me. Yu Zhen, come to Liang Corporation tomorrow. You'll be my special assistant. From now on, you're not to leave my sight. The next day, I officially started at Liang Corporation. My title, Special Assistant to the CEO, which, to be frank, meant my brother's personal supervisor and bodyguard. Qin Hao dared to threaten me, so my brother chained me to his side 24/7. Liang Yu Zhen acted with extreme decisiveness. Yu Zhen, sit here. My brother pointed to a luxurious desk, placed right inside his office, less than 3 meters from his own desk. Your eyes must cover this entire room. Anyone who enters, especially women, you must scan them thoroughly. Understood, CEO Liang, I joked, standing at attention like a soldier. I guarantee not even a female mosquito will slip past. My brother chuckled, the coldness he'd shown Qin Hao melting away, replaced by his familiar, indulgent playfulness. Be serious and get to work. These are documents about Qin Corporation's high-level green tea. Read them first. I took the thick file on high-level green teas. My brother pushed up his glasses. Dealing with Lin Jia Meng yesterday was just a warm-up. Our real opponent is at the company. I opened the documents. The first thing I saw was an ID photo, but it looked as beautiful as a magazine cover. A girl with a gentle beauty like water, clear eyes, and the standard smile of a campus queen. And Ruo Wei, I read the name. Such a young sales manager. She's 26 years old, studied in the US, and joined the company 3 years ago. She rose to become Asia-Pacific Regional Sales Manager in just 2 years, my brother added. She's talented, and also someone Qin Hao planted. What? I almost jumped out of my seat. Qin Hao's person has been undercover for 3 years, and you knew but still let her climb so high. Why not? Yu Zhen smirked. A spy whose background you know is more useful than an ordinary employee, especially since she's very good at making money for the Liang Corporation. I was floored. Brother, you're using the enemy's spy to make money for yourself. You truly are a capitalist who exploits to the bone. Thank you for the compliment, he said casually. But lately, this fox has started to become disobedient. Qin Hao's loss in the Jia Meng round will surely activate this trump card. My reason for having you here today is precisely to watch the show. Just then a knock sounded at the door knock asterisk very soft, very proper. Come in. The door opened, and Ruo Wei walked in. She wore a perfectly tailored beige business suit, her hair neatly tied in a bun. She carried a stack of documents, moving with the graceful fluidity of a cat. Upon seeing me at the special assistant's desk, her eyes merely flickered for a second, showing no surprise, and she immediately bowed to greet. Hello, CEO Liang. Then she turned to me with a perfect smile. Hello, Miss Yu Zhen. I heard you just returned to the country. Welcome to Liang Corporation. I smiled back. Hello, Manager N. Thank you, I still have a lot to learn. This wasn't the naive green tea like Jia Meng, who only knew how to cry, spill water, and lie about her major. This was a green tea corporate warrior, intelligent, beautiful, and capable. CEO Liang, and Ruo Wei began her report. This is the project report for our collaboration with Wanxing Group. I've completed 90% with only a small issue regarding payment terms remaining. She started her report, her voice clear, her logic precise, not a single word wasted. Even I had to admit she was very capable. But the key point arrived. After her report, she didn't leave immediately. She subtly raised a hand to rub her temple, a gesture of extreme fatigue that was also quite graceful. CEO Liang, I apologize, but the project has been so urgent lately, I'm a bit sleep-deprived. My brother hummed, not looking up. Then go home and rest. And Ruo Wei offered a weak smile. Yes, Oh, and by the way, is your stomach still bothering you? I brought some homemade chamomile tea. I left it on the secretary's desk whenever you need it. No need, my brother interrupted. I don't drink chamomile tea. And Ruo Wei's smile stiffened slightly. I, sitting at the special assistant's desk, carried a glass of warm water straight to my brother's desk. Drink your water, brother. I set the glass down, deliberately making a distinct asterisk clink asterisk sound. Then I turned to Ruo Wei, smiling as sweetly as she had. Manager and is truly considerate, but my brother doesn't have a habit of drinking asterisk strange things. I emphasized strange things. And Ruo Wei looked at me, her clear eyes subtly flickering. Miss Yu Zhen, you've misunderstood. I just saw CEO Liang working so hard. His hard work is his business. Caring for him is asterisk my asterisk business. I interrupted her. Manager N, are you a sales manager or my brother's nanny? The atmosphere in the room immediately dropped below zero. I wanted to see how this green tea warrior would handle this blow. And Ruo Wei didn't get angry. She was only surprised for a second, then immediately bowed her head, her face full of remorse. Miss Yu Zhen, you're being unfair to me. Her eyes reddened. I'm just a subordinate. How could I dare to have any other thoughts? I regard CEO Liang as a mentor, a respected elder brother. Now it's elder brother from father for these green teas. They're running out of scripts, aren't they? I know I'm an employee and shouldn't be overly concerned. Her eyes welled up. I was out of line. I apologize, CEO Liang. I apologize, Miss Yu Zhen. I'll excuse myself now. She didn't argue, didn't explain, but immediately admitted her fault, cried, and retreated. A perfect combo. By doing this, any man observing would see me as an arrogant young mistress bullying others, and her as a pitiful subordinate who was misunderstood. This tactic was 100 times more sophisticated than Lin Jia Meng's. After Ruo Wei closed the door and left, I turned to my brother. Well, did you think her acting was convincing? My brother, Liang Yu Zhen, still didn't look up. He simply said, you just returned to the country, so you don't fully understand, and Ruo Wei, he paused for a moment, is allergic to chamomile pollen. I was stunned. What? Allergic and she still brought you chamomile tea? My brother then looked up, his eyes filled with absolute coldness. Either her allergy is fake and her medical records are fabricated, or she deliberately brought it, deliberately wanted me to refuse, and deliberately wanted you and her to have that exchange. I gasped. If it was the second option, this green tea was more terrifying than I'd imagined. She was deliberately creating a wound, turning herself into a victim to observe my brother's reaction, and also to target me. What does she want? I frowned. She wants you to make a mistake, my brother said. You are my biological sister, and she is a talented subordinate. If you act arrogantly, relying on my favor, and oppress her to the point where she resigns out of resentment, Qin Hao will have a pretext to lure away other high-level personnel, claiming that the Liang Corporation's young mistress is arrogant and leaves no room for talent. This was hitting two targets with one arrow, causing internal discord and damaging Liang Corporation's reputation. I gritted my teeth. Very well. And Ruo Wei, Qin Hao, so you want to play palace intrigue in the office, do you? Fine. Liang Yu Zhen will play along to the very end. She was no longer targeting my brother because she knew I was guarding him. She was aiming directly at me. Her goal was to make me, the newly appointed special assistant, look like a useless, arrogant flower vase who only relied on favoritism and had no real ability. The next morning, my brother had an urgent board meeting. Yu Zhen, he said, I need the Q4 risk analysis report. It's in the internal system. Print it out, seal it, and bring it to the meeting room for me. Class S, absolutely confidential. Understood? I immediately went back to my desk. This was the first task my brother had given me as his special assistant. It wasn't difficult, but it required carefulness and security. I logged into the system, found the file, and clicked Print. The printer was located in the General Secretarial office, just outside the CEO's room. I stepped out, and Ruo Wei happened to be there, directing a secretary to organize documents. Seeing me, she smiled perfectly. Hello, Miss Yu Zhen, just need to use the printer. I nodded, heading towards the printer. Ah, she suddenly exclaimed, her face full of apology. Sister, I just used this printer this morning, and it seems to be jammed. Let me check it for you, in case it damages your important documents. She quickly stepped over, opened the paper tray, pulled papers in and out, pressed a few buttons on the touchscreen. "It's all good now. I'm sorry to have wasted your time." "No problem," I said on guard. "Thank you, Manager N." I waited, and the documents began to print. Everything seemed normal. Just then, a female employee from the sales department rushed over. "Manager N, the client from Wanxing is calling." "All right, I'll be right there." And Ruo Wei turned to me. "I'll excuse myself to take the call. Miss Yu Zhen, please continue printing." She left. I looked at the document, about 50 pages. After about 10 pages, asterisk beep, beep, beep. The printer suddenly stopped, a red error light flashing. The touchscreen displayed critical system error, restart required. I frowned. I restarted the machine. It ran for a few seconds, then beep, beep, beep again, the same error. Damn it, only 10 minutes left until my brother's meeting. I went back to my desk, tried sending the print command to another printer on the 20th floor, but the system reported printer not found. What was going on? I returned to the printer in the secretarial office. Just then, a few other employees also walked over. The printer's broken? Oh no, I urgently need to print a contract." A secretary looked at me, then whispered to the person next to her. "Tisk, the new special assistant doesn't know how to use the printer." Or did she break it, Sai? Probably not used to the operations. Heard she just returned from studying abroad, probably only good at theory. I heard everything. And Ruo Wei, having finished her phone call, returned. Seeing the scene, she rushed over. "Oh my, what happened?" She looked at me, her face full of concern. "Miss Yu Zhen, did you press the wrong button? This machine is connected to the entire system." She spoke just loud enough for everyone around to hear. She had deliberately checked the machine in front of me so that if I claimed she broke it, she'd have proof that I had checked it and it was fine. Now she was intentionally creating a critical system error just before I printed top-secret documents. If I couldn't print the documents, I'd be useless. If I made a fuss, I'd be arrogant. If I tried to fix it and made it worse, I'd be destructive. She wanted me to run to her, the talented manager N, for help. I looked at Ruo Wei, who was feigning concern, surrounded by the curious stares of the employees. I took a deep breath, pressing a hidden button under the touchscreen 3 times. The printer beeped, and the screen switched to system maintenance mode. I plugged the multi-purpose USB stick I always carried into the maintenance USB port, and Ruo Wei froze. She hadn't expected me to know how to access admin mode. I quickly scrolled through the machine's keyboard. "Driver error, port connection error, actively disconnected from the server," I muttered, just loud enough for Ruo Wei and me to hear, and Ruo Wei's face paled slightly. "Manager N," I looked up and smiled. "What kind of check did you do that you even deleted the printer driver on the server?" Everyone around gasped. Deleting a driver on the server isn't just a simple paper jam, is it? "I don't understand what you're saying." And Ruo Wei immediately backed away, her eyes reddening. I just checked the paper. Don't accuse me unjustly, Miss Yu Zhen, you're a special assistant. You can't slander me like that." Her acting was too good. Everyone immediately looked at me with an expression that said, "Ah, so the young mistress is oppressing her subordinate." "Slander?" I gave a cold laugh. "And Ruo Wei, do you know where Liang Corporation installed its security cameras?" I pointed to a corner of the ceiling where there was no camera, and Ruo Wei instinctively glanced there, then immediately recoiled. "I was just tricking you," I chuckled. "The camera isn't there." I pointed to the smoke detector on the ceiling. The real security cameras are tiny ones inside those smoke detectors. They record audio and video 24/7. My brother is very cautious, especially after the Lin Jia Meng incident. And Ruo Wei's face went completely white. "Do you want to review the footage?" I leaned close to her ear. "It recorded you taking a call, but actually standing in that hidden corner, using your personal phone to access the server and delete the printer driver, didn't it?" "No," and Ruo Wei trembled. "What's all this noise?" My brother's cold voice rang out. He stood at the office door, clearly having waited too long for the documents, and Ruo Wei latched onto him like a lifeline, immediately bursting into tears. "CEO Liang, I'm sorry," she sobbed. "It's my fault. I didn't check the printer carefully enough and it broke. Miss Yu Zhen, she couldn't print the documents for you. She's angry with me. She said I deliberately sabotaged it." She was using the tactic of taking blame to make me look petty, nitpicking a subordinate over a technical accident. "It's my fault. I'll accept any form of disciplinary action," she cried desperately. My brother looked at Ruo Wei, then at me. Yu Zhen, I said calmly, I'm not angry with her. And Ruo Wei looked up, surprised. I just find it strange, I continued. Why sales manager in Ruo Wei has admin privileges to delete printer drivers for the entire system. Brother, did you grant her those permissions? Bang, this was the fatal blow. I didn't need to prove how she did it. I just needed to ask why she could do it. A sales manager couldn't possibly have admin privileges unless she was a spy and had hacked the system. My brother narrowed his eyes, looking at Ruo Wei, his gaze sharp as a knife. Manager and explain yourself. And Ruo Wei stopped crying. She knew she was backed into a corner. She couldn't explain why she had admin privileges. I don't have those privileges, she suddenly shrieked. I didn't do it. She did. She's the special assistant. She has admin privileges. She deleted it herself and is blaming me to oppress me. While biting back, excellent, I clapped. You parried that blow beautifully, but in Ruo Wei, I pulled out my phone. The screen displayed a system access log. This is Liang Corporation's access log, I announced for everyone to hear. The IT admin account was illegally accessed at 9:15 a.m. from a suspicious IP address. But what a coincidence, I chuckled. This IP address is connected to the Wi-Fi of Qin Corporation's building right across the street. I showed the screen. Manager N, you were busy. Listening to a call from a Wan Xing client, connecting to Qin Corporation's Wi-Fi, and deleting Liang Corporation's printer driver. You certainly are busy. Everyone around was speechless, and Ruo Wei's face went from pale to ashen. No, it wasn't me, she mumbled. My brother walked over. Manager and go to your office and write an explanatory report, he said, his voice cold enough to freeze. Hand over the entire Wan Xing project to another department. This was even worse than being fired. Stripping her of her most passionate project was stripping her of her influence. CEO Liang, you can't do that. And Ruo Wei panicked. That project is my life's work. You should feel lucky I haven't called the police, Yu Zhen said. Get out. And Ruo Wei gave me a look of pure hatred, then stumbled away. I plugged my USB back into the printer, ran a driver backup file and the printer word before working normally. I calmly took the 10 pages I had printed earlier and the 40 newly printed ones, stapled them, and put them in a sealed envelope. I walked over to my brother. Your report, right on time. My brother looked at me, a hint of a smile in his eyes. Well done. She didn't resign, she took sick leave. Sick? I raised an eyebrow when my brother announced her sickness at this exact moment. After being enraged about losing the Wan Xing project, this script is too old. Don't underestimate her. My brother, Liang Yu Zhen, pushed a thick stack of documents across my desk. A cornered fox will do two things. 1, play dead. 2, bite back. And Ruo Wei is doing both. What do you mean? She's taking sick leave to play dead, creating a facade of being a victim, oppressed by you, the young mistress, until she fell ill. Look, he pointed outside. The sales department employees are looking at you like you're a monster. I glanced through the transparent glass, and sure enough, a few employees were whispering, their eyes a mix of curiosity and fear. And Ruo Wei, despite being a spy, truly had ability. She was well liked by her subordinates. Now that I had brought her down, I naturally became a villainous consort in their eyes. In the biting back, I asked. This, my brother tapped the Wan Xing project documents. I've taken this project away from her, but she's been in charge of it for 3 years. All the relationships with the Wan Xing partners are in her hands. Now, I'm giving it to you. Me, I was surprised. I just returned to the country, and my major is finance, not business management. You don't need to manage. My brother's gaze was sharp. You just need to find the bomb she's hidden in these documents. And Ruo Wei won't easily let go of a golden goose like Wan Xing. She's definitely laid a trap, either in the contract or in the financial clauses. I understood. This was my brother's test. I get it. I took the documents. I'll turn every number upside down. I spent 2 full days without leaving the office. I cross-referenced every contract, every email, every Excel file regarding the cash flow and profit projections of the Wan Xing project. Just as my brother predicted, and Ruo Wei was a warrior, she didn't play foolish sabotage games. Her trap was a super sophisticated one. I found it. I ran to my brother's desk in the middle of the night after everyone else had gone home. Tell me, my brother, who was also looking at documents, clearly waiting for me. Page 32, Appendix 4, Clause 1.1b, I pointed to the project cash flow on his laptop screen. She deliberately used the wrong formula to calculate the internal rate of return, IRR, an extremely tiny error in the Excel function that makes the entire project appear 3% more profitable than it actually is. My brother frowned. What good does that do her? The Liang Corporation would sign a more lucrative contract. No, I shook my head. Look closely, brother. This illusory 3% profit would make the Liang Corporation agree to share some exclusive core technology with Wanxing as an incentive for a large contract. But in reality, this project isn't that profitable. We'd be shortchanged. In other words, I summarized, she deliberately inflated the project to make the Liang Corporation prematurely sell technology to Wanxing. And Wanxing, I paused, could very likely be connected to Qin Hao. My brother nodded. Clever. This move by Ruo Wei not only gets revenge on us, but also earns her credit with Qin Hao. So now what, brother? Cancel the contract? No, my brother gave a cold smile. If we cancel, how do we catch the big fish? You found the trap, so fix it. Immediately prepare a new financial report. Wanxing will be here for a meeting at 9 a.m. tomorrow. You, he pointed to me, will be the one to present. The next morning, in the VIP meeting room of Liang Corporation, my brother and I sat at the head of the table. Opposite us was the negotiation team from Wanxing. The person leading them surprised me slightly. It wasn't some pot-bellied old man, but a young man around 30 in a gray suit, wearing gold-rimmed glasses with a refined expression but very sharp eyes. Hello, CEO Liang. He offered his business card. I am Zhao Meng, Vice President of Wanxing, in charge of this project. My brother also offered his business card. Hello, Vice President Zhao, it's a pleasure to meet you. After the polite introductions, Zhao Meng immediately looked around the room. Excuse me, he frowned. Why don't I see manager in Ruo Wei? I recall she was the main person in charge of this project from the beginning. He spoke with a tone that suggested great familiarity with Ruo Wei. Ah, here it was, Ruo Wei's trump card. She hadn't just laid a trap in the contract. She'd also used a honey trap with the partner. My brother calmly said, Manager and is unwell and has taken sick leave. From now on, this project will be handled by my special assistant, Liang Yu Zhen. He gestured to me. Zhao Ming looked me up and down, his eyes shifting from surprise to suspicion, then to disdain. CEO Liang, he said with a faint smile, you're not joking, are you? A multi-hundred-million-dollar project, and you're entrusting it to a young lady who just returned from abroad as an intern. Does your Liang Corporation have no one else? He spoke directly, without any reservations. Vice President Zhao, I spoke up, interrupting my brother who was about to get angry. You're right, I just returned to the country and I don't particularly like this project either. The entire meeting room was stunned. My brother also looked at me in surprise. Zhao Ming frowned. But, I continued, turning on the projector, since I happened to read it, I discovered a few interesting things. For example, the financial report your manager and sent to Wanxing. I projected the old report. This report looks perfectly beautiful, with high profits, which made Wanxing very satisfied, didn't it? Zhao Ming said nothing, but his smug expression said it all. But, I pressed a button, projecting my report alongside it, and Ruo Wei accidentally used the wrong formula to calculate the IRR, a very small error. I zoomed in directly on the incorrect formula and my correct one. This error, I turned to look directly into Zhao Ming's eyes, makes the project appear 3% more profitable than it actually is. I don't know if she did it intentionally or accidentally, but if we sign this contract based on these illusory numbers, I chuckled, our Liang Corporation will be at a disadvantage because we'd have to share core technology. But I must emphasize, Wanxing, you won't be happy either, because based on these illusory numbers, you've committed an unrealistic profit margin to your board of directors. And when the project becomes operational, you'll be the first to face disaster for not meeting KPIs. At that point, Vice President Zhao, how will you explain it to your shareholders? Zhao Ming's face went from disdainful to ashen. He was a financial professional, he understood exactly what I was saying. And Ruo Wei hadn't just tricked the Liang Corporation, she had tricked him too. She gave him beautiful numbers to make it easy for him to sign the contract, but she didn't care about Wanxing's future consequences. Zhao Ming stammered. I I stood up, holding my revised contract, which included all the corrected financial reports. These are the real numbers. The profit is 3% lower, but it's real. And because of these real numbers, the Liang Corporation will no longer share core technology as per the old version. Instead, we will offer a 2% discount on the total contract value to Wanxing as a gesture of goodwill for our employees' error. I placed the new contract in front of Zhao Ming. Vice President Zhao, you're a smart man. I smiled. Now you have two choices. One, continue to believe in Manager N and that illusory contract. Or two, sign this real contract with a little less profit, but you and Wanxing can sleep soundly. Oh, and of course, I added, you can choose not to sign. Our Liang Corporation always welcomes other partners. This project isn't irreplaceable. A perfect defensive and offensive move. Zhao Ming looked at me, then at my brother. My brother just sat there, smirking, not saying a word. He completely let me take control of the game. Zhao Ming took a deep breath, picking up my new contract. Miss Liang, he said, his voice completely changed, no longer disdainful but wary. What did you major in? Finance and risk analysis, I replied. Graduated top of my class. Zhao Ming chuckled, extending his hand. Pleasure doing business. I'll sign this real contract. The victory with Wanxing gave me a bit of credibility in the company. At least the sales department employees no longer looked at me like a villainous consort, but rather a capable villainous consort. I knew Ruo Wei wouldn't sit idly by. She had been on sick leave for a week. A green tea warrior never gives up just because of one project. She was waiting for her moment. Sure enough, the following Monday morning, she returned. My brother and I had just stepped out of the VIP elevator. The company's main lobby was unusually crowded today, and the center of attention was Ruo Wei. She wasn't wearing a suit. She wore a flimsy, pale blue sundress that made her look even thinner. Her face was ashen. I bet it was a deliberate, sick makeup technique. Dark circles under her eyes were prominent. She stood there, smiling weakly and greeting everyone. A perfect, sick beauty performance. The moment she saw my brother and me, Ruo Wei immediately approached. The entire lobby went silent, everyone perked up their ears, eager for the drama. CEO Liang Yu Zhen. Her voice was weak, as if she were about to faint. My brother simply hummed, intending to walk past, but Ruo Wei blocked his path. I'm sorry, she bowed 90 degrees. I've heard about the Wanxing matter. Miss Yu Zhen, you're so capable. She looked up, her eyes sparkling with tears. This time, the mistake was mine. I was sick and unexpectedly almost ruined a major company project. Luckily, the talented Miss Yu Zhen not only found my errors, but also renegotiated the contract. I'm truly ashamed. She spoke with such sincerity. I no longer deserve this manager position, CEO Liang. I gave a cold laugh inwardly. A high-level green tea technique, humbling oneself to elevate others. She praised me but deliberately emphasized my mistakes, my sickness, my shame. Everyone around immediately started whispering. Oh my, poor manager, and sick to that extent, who doesn't make mistakes sometimes? It's clearly the new kid bullying the veteran. The young mistress just returned and brazenly stole her credit. See, public opinion was immediately swayed by her. I naturally became the credit-stealing villain, preying on a pitiful patient. I was about to confront her when my brother intervened. Manager N. Liang Yu Zhen's voice was so cold it could freeze, and the bustling lobby immediately fell silent. Firstly, you are not sick. You deliberately falsified the financial report, using a fake IRR formula to deceive Wanxing and the Liang Corporation. You almost sold off the company's core technology to a competitor. This is not a mistake, this is sabotage. Everyone around gasped. Sabotage, selling off core technology. These charges were immense, and Ruo Wei's face turned ashen, not from sick makeup, but from genuine terror. My brother continued, not giving her a chance to interrupt. Secondly, Liang Yu Zhen did not steal your credit. She cleaned up the mess you left behind. If not for her, the person standing here today wouldn't be you, but the police. My brother, the human green tea detector, never disappoints. And Ruo Wei trembled, tears beginning to fall. CEO Liang, I know it's my fault, I didn't mean to, I just felt too much pressure. She began to use her ultimate move. And Ruo Wei staggered, her eyes closed, and her entire body collapsed towards my brother. The classic green tea technique, feigning a faint. If my brother caught her, tomorrow the whole company would gossip that CEO Liang, though he scolded her, still cherished her like a delicate flower. If he didn't catch her, he'd be a cold-blooded brute. But who was my brother? The moment Ruo Wei fell towards him, Liang Yu Zhen coldly took a step back. A perfectly executed retreat, just enough for Ruo Wei to fall into empty air. Ah! Everyone around exclaimed. I was standing right next to her. Damn it! I couldn't let her fall face first in the company lobby. It was still the Liang Corporation's image. Moreover, if she fell, people would say I stood by and did nothing. I gritted my teeth and lunged forward, reluctantly extending my hand. Thump, I caught her. But as Ruo Wei fainted, her hand inadvertently flailed, clutching my employee ID badge hanging around my neck. Rip! The lanyard tightened around my neck, and both our badges flew off while she safely collapsed into my arms. A perfect scene that transformed me from a rescuer into a clumsy oaf, making us both fall. Oh my God, Miss Yu Zhen, what happened to you? Her secretary shrieked. I looked at Ruo Wei, unconscious in my arms, her eyelashes trembling slightly. She was really committed to the act. I was about to drop her when a familiar voice echoed from the doorway. Is there an interesting show at Liang Corporation today? I looked up. Zhao Ming, vice president of Wanxing Group. He was wearing a different gray suit, no glasses, looking even sharper than before. He stood there, hands in his pockets, smirking at the chaotic scene. Ruo Wei, still unconscious in my arms, heard Zhao Ming's voice and her eyelashes trembled even more intensely. She immediately woke up. Where am I? What happened to me? Then she saw Zhao Ming. Vice President Zhao? She gasped in alarm. Why are you here? She immediately turned her acting skills on Zhao Ming, tears welling up again. Vice President Zhao, I'm so sorry. I wronged you with the Wanxing project. I never expected things to turn out this way. She was trying to elicit sympathy from Zhao Ming, thinking all men like to protect a weak white lotus. Zhao Ming looked at her, saying nothing. He simply stepped forward, and Ruo Wei looked at him, her eyes full of hopeful expectation. He walked past Ruo Wei and stopped in front of me. Miss Liang, he extended his hand, not to help me up, but to pick up my employee ID badge that had fallen to the floor. Yours. He handed it to me, his voice casual. I was surprised but quickly let go of Ruo Wei, making her almost genuinely fall, then stood up straight and took my badge. Thank you, Vice President Zhao. Don't mention it. He glanced at Ruo Wei, who was stunned on the floor. I came today to invite Miss Liang to lunch. We need to discuss phase 2 of the project. He then gave a faint, mocking smile. I didn't expect to catch manager in here doing her morning exercises, though. Morning exercises? I almost burst out laughing. That remark was more venomous than 1,000 slaps from my brother. He was publicly mocking Ruo Wei. The entire lobby fell silent, shocked. No one had expected Vice President Zhao of Wanxing, an important partner, to side with me, and Ruo Wei's expression shifted from stunned to disbelief. Vice President Zhao, what are you saying? Zhao Ming finally turned back to look at her, his eyes no longer gentle but cold. Manager N, you are a very interesting person. He said, you deceived the Liang Corporation, and you also deceived Wanxing. You almost brought both our companies down with a phantom report. Do you think he pointed to himself, would still trust you? I, Zhao Ming, he continued, only work with competent and ethical people. Miss Liang here, he gestured with his chin towards me, though she just returned to the country, at least she is honest. She showed me the real numbers. She saved me from a spectacular deception. He turned to my brother. CEO Liang, your employee, you handle it. Then he turned back to me. Miss Liang, shall we go? I know a very good Italian restaurant. I looked at Ruo Wei. Her face was ashen like burnt ash. Not only had she lost the project and her boss's trust, but she had also lost face in front of a handsome man even if he wasn't her target. This was the most satisfying green tea eradication strike ever. I smiled radiantly at Zhao Ming. Very well. Vice President Zhao, please wait for me a moment. I turned to my brother. Brother, I'll leave this battlefield to you. My brother smirked. Go on, but be back before 3:00 p.m. I put on my coat and walked proudly past Ruo Wei, who was crumbling on the floor, leaving Liang Corporation side by side with Zhao Ming, leaving hundreds of bewildered eyes behind us. At the luxurious Italian restaurant, Zhao Ming and I sat opposite each other, the atmosphere quite relaxed. Unlike Qin Hao, Zhao Ming didn't exude the aura of a notorious scumbag, but rather the refined air of a true elite, gentle yet sharp. Thank you, Vice President Zhao. I raised my glass of water. for today's hero saves the beauty seen in the Liang Corporation lobby. Zhao Ming chuckled, cutting a piece of steak. I'm no hero, and Miss Liang is no damsel in distress waiting to be saved. I just despise green tea types. Oh, I was intrigued. I thought men like you enjoyed the fragrance of tea. Cheap tea like in Ruo Wei, no, he answered frankly, without any reservation. She didn't just deceive your Liang Corporation, she deceived me too. I raised an eyebrow. You mean, besides the IRR incident, there's more? Zhao Ming put down his fork and knife. Miss Liang, do you know how Ruo Wei approached me? He recounted. It turned out that throughout the 3 years of the project, Ruo Wei not only maintained a partnership, but also constantly flirted with Zhao Ming. She said she admired me, Zhao Ming said with a faint, sarcastic smile. She said she felt pressured working at Liang Corporation, oppressed by your brother, and that only I could understand her talent. I almost choked. The same boss-oppressing subordinate trick again. She constantly accidentally sent me concerned messages in the middle of the night, Zhao Ming continued. Then she accidentally revealed a faint scar on her wrist, claiming it was self-inflicted due to work pressure. But he looked at me. The climax was last week. After CEO Liang stripped her of the Wanxing project, she immediately called me, crying desperately, saying she had been robbed of her credit by the young mistress and misunderstood by CEO Liang. She wanted to ask me for an opportunity. What kind of opportunity? I asked. To work at Wanxing. And Zhao Ming smirked. She said she not only had ability but also a big gift to bring over. She had all the data for another secret Liang Corporation project in her hands. I gasped. She dared? She actually dared? Zhao Ming affirmed. But she was foolish enough to think I was Qin Hao. I, Zhao Ming, hate 2 types of people the most. 1, the incompetent, 2, the traitorous. And Ruo Wei, he summarized, was both incompetent for using the wrong IRR and traitorous for daring to betray the Liang Corporation. Did she think I would harbor such a viper in my company? Today, exposing her in the lobby wasn't just helping you, it was helping myself. I want CEO Liang to see clearly that our Wanxing conducts business ethically. I burst out laughing. Vice President Zhao, you really are interesting. He chuckled too. Collaborating with Miss Liang is also very interesting. Perhaps, he raised his glass, we should discuss forming a green tea and Qin extermination alliance, shouldn't we? I clinked my glass with his. Very willing. The lunch ended extremely pleasantly. Zhao Ming and I had agreed on many terms for Phase 2 of the project, and also some unspoken agreements regarding dealing with Qin Hao. I checked my watch, 2:45 p.m. Thank you for lunch, Vice President Zhao. I must go. I'll drive you back. No need, I smiled. My brother has an important meeting at 3:00 p.m. He needs me to sharpen his ink. If I'm late, he'll deduct my salary. Zhao Ming chuckled. All right, see you later, Assistant Liang. I left the restaurant. At exactly 2:50 p.m., I swiped my card into the CEO's office. My brother, Liang Yu Zhen, was sitting there, precisely watching the clock. Right on time, aren't you? He said. You're such a model employee. I chuckled, putting down my purse. So, brother, how did you clean up the mess in the lobby? My brother smirked. You thought I'd fire her. No, I shook my head. That would be too satisfying, but not painful enough. You're a capitalist, you'll exploit her down to her last drop of sweat. Yu Zhen nodded. Clever, I didn't fire her, I promoted her. What? My eyes widened. What did you say? Did a green tea possess you? Calm down. My brother handed me a personnel decision. I read the personnel transfer decision. And Ruo Wei, former sales manager due to outstanding achievements in discovering financial loopholes, even though she created them, and brave spirit in admitting mistakes, even if coerced, now transferred to. I read to the last line. Document Archiving Department, appointed head of expired document sorting team. Head of expired document sorting team. I laughed until tears streamed down my face. Brother, you're just as evil as I am. The Document Archiving Department was located in Basement B2, with no sunlight, only the smell of damp, musty paper, and tens of thousands of tons of old files from 20 years ago. A green tea corporate warrior, from a glamorous sales manager, now relegated to the basement, sorting through old papers. This was more painful than being fired. She agreed, I asked. She had no choice, my brother said coldly. 1. Work in the basement. 2. I send all the evidence of her accessing Qin Corporation's Wi-Fi, deleting the printer driver, and deceiving Vice President Zhao to the police. Which do you think she chose? She wouldn't dare go to jail, I concluded. Moreover, Qin Hao has abandoned her. She has no other options. Exactly, my brother summarized. But what I'm worried about, he looked at me, is Qin Hao. He lost Jia Meng, he lost in Ruo Wei, and he also lost that treasonous USB. A cornered mad dog will bite indiscriminately. My brother was right. That evening, I returned home, and the family was having dinner. My mother, Gu Man Li, as usual, elegantly picked up a piece of abalone. I hear you had lunch today with Wan Xing's elite. Mom, how do you know everything? The Shanghai socialite circle? My mother chuckled. No secrets get past me. That young Zhao Ming, he's not bad, has good judgment. But she glanced at me. Don't think that just because he helped you exterminate green tea means he's a good person. Men in business, there's no fox that isn't cunning. Be careful. I know, Madame Gu. My father, Liang Xing, finally spoke up. Yu Shen, how far have you gotten with Qin Hao? I've sent the documents to the National Security Bureau, my brother replied. They've accepted it. They're secretly investigating. A silent travel ban order has been issued against Qin Hao. Good, my father nodded. So he can't escape, just waiting for the net to close. The whole family was enjoying dinner, feeling as if we had just wiped out a nest of green tea, when my phone rang. An unfamiliar number, very strange, not a domestic one. I frowned. My brother signaled me to put it on speaker. I pressed answer. A chilling silence. Then a familiar voice echoed, but it wasn't Qin Hao's. Liang Yu Zhen, Sister Yu Zhen? That voice, Lin Jia Meng, I froze. You, how can you? Aren't you supposed to be at the police station? Ha ha ha, Jia Meng laughed, a crazy, cackling sound. Surprised, aren't you? You thought I was in jail? Surprise, I'm out on bail. What? My entire family was stunned. With such ironclad evidence, how could she be out on bail? Is it Qin Hao? My brother asked, his voice chilling. Jia Meng scoffed. That scoundrel abandoned me, but you know what, Yu Zhen? Her voice turned venomous. Qin Hao isn't the only hero in this world. You have a new guarantor, I asked coldly. That's right, someone you people would never expect, Jia Meng shrieked. Someone who hates your Liang family even more than I do. Liang Yu Zhen, just you wait. You think you've won? Not yet, I'll be back. I'll destroy every single one in that house. You, your brother, your mother, your father, all of you. Hello, hello, dial tone. The call was cut. The dining room fell into silence. My father, my brother, and my mother, the three pillars of the Liang family, all frowned. Lin Jia Meng, a small fry, how could she be bailated out from such a serious charge? Unless the person behind her bail had even greater power than Qin Hao. A new, hidden enemy had just officially declared war. The silence was chilling. A small fry like Jia Meng, with undeniable evidence against her, could be bailated out of the police station and freely make an international call to provoke us. This new enemy was not simple. My brother, Liang Yu Zhen, was the fastest to react. The moment Jia Meng hung up, he opened his laptop, his fingers flying across the keyboard. The phone number is from Switzerland. I'll check it immediately. My father, Liang Xing, set his wine glass down. For the first time since Jia Meng had entered our home, his expression became truly serious. Someone who could interfere with police records and get her out of the country so quickly. This person not only had money but also immense power. My mother, Gu Man Li, continued, her usual elegance gone, her phoenix eyes sharp. Qin Hao doesn't have this capability. He's already under scrutiny from the National Security Bureau and can't even take care of himself. Who is this person? Found it. My brother looked up, his expression extremely grim. What? Who bailated her out? I asked urgently. Not bailated out, my brother said, his voice heavy. All charges have been withdrawn. What? I sprang to my feet. Withdrawn? With such ironclad evidence, how dare they withdraw it? Who withdrew it? The person who signed the withdrawal application, Yu Shen looked at me, is Qin Hao. My entire family was stunned. Impossible, I immediately retorted. Qin Hao was betrayed by Jia Meng and almost dragged down with her. He even kicked her away. How could he possibly come back to save her? He wasn't willing, my father concluded. Someone forced Qin Hao to withdraw the charges. Someone Qin Hao didn't dare to offend, even having to sacrifice Jia Meng so Qin Hao would take the fall for that person, in exchange for his own safety. I've infiltrated the police station's security camera system, my brother continued. Lin Jia Meng was released at 6:00 p.m. tonight. The person who came to pick her up, he turned his laptop screen towards my father, was in a Rolls-Royce Phantom with license plate number. Dad, look. My father squinted at the numbers. A few.